Then another point that Professor West mentioned, and we discussed this just a little bit, maybe discuss it a little bit more in our meeting with some folks here from the faculty and administration this afternoon. Professor West laid some emphasis on income inequality or wealth inequality. There we have a difference of opinion. I think the fundamental economic problem for us, by economic problem, I don't mean technical problem, I mean justice problem, I mean what you mean when we're talking about economic problems, is not inequality as such, because I don't think that economic equality is a value as such. I think our problem is the diminution to the point of near collapse of social mobility. The great glory of this country, despite all our flaws and problems over the centuries, has been the experience, grounding the hope that if I work hard, if I commit myself, if I'm a good parent, my children can be better off materially, at least. Material isn't the only thing, but at least materially, my children can be better off than I am. We find today people no longer believe it. Parents don't believe it in many cases, in many sectors of society, and young people don't believe it of themselves. They don't believe they will have a materially better life than their parents. You know why they don't believe it? Because they're smart. They don't believe it because it's not true. The real problems, and Professor West and I think would agree on what some of the problems, the underlying problems are. We both have some big problems about what happened in 2008 and 2009. The gangsterism, the thievery, the frauds on Wall Street. By the way, who went to jail? So we agree on some of the causes, and then there are deeper causes going far back before that. But I think the goal should be to restore that social mobility. That, to me, is the value, not equality as such. What do you think?
I think that they do go hand in hand, but what I'm a little weary of is if we shift to social mobility, upward mobility, it could easily downplay the ways in which escalating wealth inequality contribute to the lack of social mobility. So they really do go hand in hand for me. When we met our dear brother, President Thomas Hawes, and he was talking about 41% of the students in this grand institution are first generation. That is magnificent. It makes it a very special place. It means you come in with tremendous fortitude and determination and willingness to hit the ground moving, like it was in the 1920s and 30s in New York and City College, you see. And yet at the same time, if you come in and there's no jobs with a living wage, even with a degree, you see, you still have a structural problem. If you graduate with a student debt that is so far beyond your capacity to pay, so that you're in a kind of financial bondage for the next 20 years, even as you fall in love and have precious gifts from heaven and children and so forth, that still has to do with that entrenched wealth inequality. You see. Now, the danger of someone like myself, of course, who likes to zero in on not just the 1% who has 42% of the wealth, but the 0.01% who have over 19% of the wealth. That's very few people. They say, oh, Brother West, you just anti-rich. No, I'm a Christian. I love everybody now. I'm serious about that. We're just talking about what mechanisms of fair legal accountability those at the top with unbelievable wealth have to those large numbers of people who have limited opportunities and therefore don't have a possibility to engage in that social mobility, you see.